All right, Mr. Chair, you are now live.
All right, thank you very much. All right, let's go ahead and call to order the meeting of the Board of the Port Wardens on Tuesday, July 25th, 2023 will be called at 7:11 p.m. Let's go ahead and do a roll call. In attendance tonight, we have Jonathan McCott, we have Jared Lerner's first meeting, we have Scott Anderson. We also have Brian Adams from the city, Kimberly from the city, Carrie Berger from the city, and Julian is helping us with the video. The approval of the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. At this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
All right. I got a second by Scott Anderson. All those in favor state aye, aye or yes.
Yes.
Or raise your hand in affirmative for yes. Okay. All right. All three of us, or all, sorry, four of us agree. All right. The motion passes. Thank you very much. Administrative, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the meetings from June 27th, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, motion to approve. Do we have a second? All right, Scott Anderson to second that. Thank you very much. All those in favor, please state aye, yes, or raise your hand to affirm yes.
Yes.
All right, Scott. Okay, great. All right, we got that. All right, the next item agenda is findings of fact. And I do need to read these individually, and we need to record them individually. So I will go relatively quickly. And this is the finding fact for June 27th from the June 27th, 2023 meeting. And you guys have received all these findings of fact as well. The next item on the agenda is findings of facts. And we're going to start with Port 2023-0002. Brian Sweeney, 25.5 Eastern Avenue. It was to install 6 foot wide by 35.72 foot long pier, 12.5 by 14.28 long platform, and 3-inch wide and 10-inch long finger pier with a 10-foot long side mount lift. Is there any discussion? All right. I'd entertain a motion to approve the written findings of fact.
Motion to approve.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. And do we have a second? Scott, I need you there. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a second from Scott Anderson. All right, thank you. The motion passes. And Kim, do I need to reread the port number for that motion when I state that, or are we good?
No, sir, the address is fine for me.
All right, thank you very much. All right, the next finding of fact is Port 2023-00003, Christopher Perez, 717 Chester Avenue, is to remove existing boat lift and 2 piles and install 8 new piles and 2 new boat lifts. Is there any discussion? All right, with no discussion on my part, I'd entertain a motion to approve the written findings of fact.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the written findings of fact.
Okay, Scott, thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Jonathan McCup, thank you very much. We have a second. All those in favor, please state aye, yes, raise your hand. Now we can hear you, Scott.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right,
Yep.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Port 2023-00005, and it's Philip Carr, 900 Creek Drive, and it's to remove existing boat. I have unfortunately a repeated of that, but I can look at the exact element, but I think you guys are familiar with it because you received the finding of facts. Is there any discussion? Okay, great. With no discussion, is there a motion to approve the findings of fact?
Motion to approve.
Okay, Jonathan.
I'll second that motion.
Much is there a second?
Scott seconded.
Okay.
Yes, sir, I seconded it, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right. The next item on the agenda for findings fact is Port 2023-00006, Brendan Keating, 23 Eastern Avenue. And it's to install a 6-foot wide pier by 30 long pier and a 10-foot wide by 20 long platform, 3-foot wide by 10-foot long finger pier, and a one-boat lift and one PWC lift. Is there a motion to approve the written findings? Oh, is there any discussion? All right, thank you very much. With no discussion, is there a motion to approve the written findings of fact?
Motion to approve?
All right, Jonathan McCup was first. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All those in favor of the motion, the second was Mr. Anderson. All those in favor of the motion to approve the written findings of fact, report 2023-006, Brian Keating, 23 Eastern Avenue, please state yes or aye.
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 All right, thank you very much. And the final finding of fact for this evening is Port 2023-00008, Jabins Family Real Estate LLC, 7310 Edgewood Road, has replaced in-kind 2 existing travel piers, 3 feet by 48 feet and 3 feet by 56 feet. Any existing regular shaped pier and an existing regular shaped pier, 170 feet long by 6 feet, 9.5 and 12-foot wide, and existing gangway, which is 4 by 25. Is there any discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, fantastic. No discussion. Is there a motion to approve the written findings of fact?
Motion to approve?
All right, thank you, Jonathan McCobb. Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, all those in favor, please state aye or yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. Thank you very much. The motion passes. There is currently no old business and currently no new business. So let's move on to the miscellaneous. Is there anything else for the good of the order? All right, with nothing there, let's this being no other item on the agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Real quick, I wanted,
Go ahead,
can I
Scott.
say something real quick?
Yeah.
You know, in correspondence, I spoke about possibly meeting in person for these meetings. Does anybody else feel about that? What's the city feel about it? I'm neutral, I guess, but it'd be kind of nice to do every once in a while.
For a discussion, actually, Harold had talked about the concept of us getting together at one point. I'm, you know, what are other opinions? And again, I think let me defer to actually Carrie and Kimberly. I think I will say this. I heard from our prior city manager that they had traditionally rarely ever gotten a request for minutes. In decades, they rarely got a request for minutes unless there was a lawsuit. Yet they actually see people watching it on YouTube. They actually have people who watch the full length. So I will say, with that in mind, I think there is a nice benefit. And again, this is semi-biased because I do have to travel here and there. And I know you're probably not talking about doing it 100%. And I do think it would be good for us to get in a room. But I do find that as both a resident and also being involved on the committee, I find that it's a really nice mechanism for the record keeping and the visibility of, you know, and I love the fact that people actually do go back and want to make sure, you know, or have an interest, an active interest in what we're doing. And I think sometimes with live, it in the old way, I think it has probably less people engaged, except those, of course, just waiting for applications. but I
Right.
But
I understand your point. I do believe that when it was live, they still recorded it for future future viewing.
I can chime in here. That we did not actually. The TV studio.
Okay.
Oh,
that's cool.
On special occasions, if we got special requests, occasionally we would.
Right.
That was usually more.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm fine with doing it from home or where I'm at. I guess it is kind of a nice thing, and if it's getting better interaction with the people, that's better.
I do have, and I think the city would be okay with it. So I'm in West Annapolis. I have a 12-person conference room with a very appropriate, honest to God teleconference system, and I have incredible bandwidth. So I don't know if it would be allowed, but if we want to get together here, we can still do it live, and all of our faces can be seen, and we can be heard perfectly. Or it may be a combination. If 2 of us are here or 3 of us are here, I do think there's a benefit, since most of us are sort of new, except you, Scott. You've got the most seniority as far as time goes. I think it would be good for us to do a mixture, but I sort of would defer to Carrie, and of course Carrie and Brian and Kimberly, anyone else is welcome. But there may be a way to sort of do this semi-hybrid if it's permitted.
Sounds good to me. But like I said, it is a nice, it's a luxury to not have to go anywhere, and we do it. And I guess I spend a little bit more time being able to review things as well when we don't do it at the City Hall. But I guess it's about the same.
Right. Carrie, are we allowed to have 2 or 3 of us in the same room?
Yeah, there's nothing prohibiting, as long as there's no issues, with broadcasting it. There's no like feedback or anything like that. There's nothing prohibiting you guys from being.
It is full high def. This is what I do for a living. So as far as the video teleconferencing, not this.
There would be some probably hurdles on our side of things. We'd have to coordinate and try and figure out something a little more of a plan with you, as far as the proctoring and what your system is. Honestly, Robert, I think this is a good question for Hillary more than probably anyone else.
Okay. All right. I'll write something up. I'll pop it to Hillary. I'll include you and Kara. I'll include everybody and see how they respond. And we have a fully certified system for Teams, Zoom, Citrix. So and like I said, we have dual connectivity with load balance and failover. This is, again, what I do for a living. So you're not going to get better than what we have at any house, including.
And maybe it even makes it easier for everybody that way, or at least people on that end, on the city's end too.
Okay, well, I'll pop an email to Hillary. I think it's a great idea, Scott. I actually, and like I said, Harold had talked about the concept of us getting together. I did indicate, and I need to check with Carrie, there's some kind of element where, we just got to make sure if we meet, it's nothing.
Not a violation of the Open Meetings Act.
Yeah. So we would certainly, follow that. And that's why I actually told Harold that we've got to be careful, not careful, but we've got to check and make sure we're fully sort of compliant. So I will send an email to Hillary, and I'll get an answer to everybody. I'll include everybody on that conversation. Okay?
Excellent.
All right. Any other elements? Although, or if not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight.
All right. Thank you, Scott. And then is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Thank you very much. Jared, sorry, this didn't have much in it, but I do believe we just got an application in the last day or 2. So we will have some action for you next time. All right.
I just want to remind everybody just a reminder that we're not meeting in August. Our next meeting will be September.
Thank you. And so the